Greetings, loyal minions. Welcome back to the SciShow. In my quest to bring you all the information possible, I am on my deathbed with tiredness. But of course, there's a new hero. SG just don't care about me at all. They just want to work me, grind me. Just, yeah, overworked, underpaid. SG, if you're out there listening, come on, hit me up with some gems. Let me advertise for you or something. Would love to have one of the developers on the show to ask about these heroes and what's going on. Anyway, I'm dribbling. On to Vard, the new Astral Dwarf. Purple Sorcerer. Gives a chance to drop mana. And once maxed out, it's 15% chance to drop the mana generation by 50% for 2 turns, and the target gets minus 20% attack for 2 turns. I actually like the Sorcerer class, that mana generation. It's a little bit tricky because you don't know who it's going to affect or if it's going to affect anyone. But yeah, it's quite often I go to charge a hero or I think my hero's charged and realise that, someone's dropped his mana. So has the Bulwark. Aether Talent, so plus 15% defense, further 1% every time they hit. Works better on defense for that one because there's more chance of being hit with multiple tiles and getting a bit more defense, but neither here nor there. We'll turn that off for now. Of course, very good stats all around. Looks like a bit of a Merlin tryhard. I don't know, he's been buying Harry Potter costumes off Temu or something. I don't know. Doesn't really look very dwarfish, to be honest. But that's what we've got. Chance to 20 or 25% for 1 or 2 heroes to dispel a random spellable status effect from all enemies at the end of each turn. So quite powerful when it goes off, but very small chance. And yeah, it depends who you're going against. We have the passive of bypass minions, which is very good. I'm a little bit... I feel with some of these portals that drag on, like obviously in the Astral portal, we had the Astral Elves, now the Astral Dwarves. In my opinion, they're not really evolving much. I know I can also talk at times about how we bring too many new skills, but it just seems very boring to continue on with the same thing sometimes in the same... They probably could have just stopped this portal and made something else because... we have all the mega minions, mega fiends. There's heroes now with skills that work against minions and mega minions. But then we're just going back to the same, okay, bypass minions, great. Resist negative minion effects. So the incoming negative effects and damage from minions are resisted. Perfect accuracy, always hits its target. Again, I am flabbergasted as to why that's mentioned here as a passive, but all the Astral Elves just have it as written text in their special skill. Just a bit of consistency, guys. It's not really that bloody hard to get something like that, something extremely simple. And instead of confusing things by moving it around, and I'm just to prove my point, we'll go to one of these Astral Elves. There you go, the special skill never misses its target. But over here, we've got the special skill never misses its target. What is the point in that? Keep it consistent. It's not fucking hard. Anyway. I can go on to rant about very insignificant things at times, but it's just these inconsistencies that really bug me. It just shows a lack of care. And if you don't care about something that simple and easy to get right, it just makes me wonder how much they're caring about these other things. Anyway, on to the special, Power of the Void. Running at slow speed, we're dealing 450% damage to all enemies. We have Wither, which is all enemies get minus 350 attack and minus 350 defense, so that's quite high. We know how Wither works from the goblins and other astral heroes, and there's other random ones now that have it. Again, I wish that had just stayed to one particular family maybe, or... Anyway, it's quite big. Problem is, I think now it's sort of... There's so many of those Garrison Guard heroes that now remove Wither. So it makes him a little bit undesirable for me when it comes to defense. because it's so easy to take. He still does a big hit. I'll get to the third point. He still does minus 30 mana generation for 5 turns to all enemies. So that's still useful. But with the Wither, it just makes it so easy to take a Garrison Guard, and it makes part of his skill just useless. I know that can be said for all heroes, don't get me wrong. But yeah, on defense, when a big part of the special can just be... the thing that gets me is the enemy doesn't have to have a special charged to make that useless. It's just part of their passive. So their passive is it clears all the Wither. So I'm going to say, I mean, as I said, he does do great damage. Hits a minus mana generation. Slow speed, obviously going to be good in the Rush Wars. Possibly even as tank, as he does have that Bulwark as well, the Aether talent. And he's going to do huge damage. So really, I mean, if you take a couple of hits from this guy before you manage to get charged, it's going to be good night all over. The Wither can help a little bit. The mana generation in Rush War is going to be huge. So in Rush War, you're generally trying to get 2 matches. So 6 tiles, 2 matches, bang, you've got your special. This guy is just going to totally disrupt that. And it only has to make 1 tile's difference. So, yeah, it's going to be a nightmare for that. Outside of Rush, the mana generation is still important, but outside of Rush, I think he's taking a fair while. Yes, he does a hit. But again, on defense, I wouldn't suggest him anywhere outside of Rush. Again, depending on your level, depending on which heroes you've got. But I think he's just giving too much time to do anything with. He doesn't... I mean, the mana generation is good, but he doesn't really hamstring you enough to be game over, sort of, to use him as tank outside of Rush, in my opinion. Obviously, because I'm the one that's dribbling. Let me know what you think. Yeah, again, you're going to want to pair him with other hit rolls. Rush War, it doesn't really matter what colour. Any, depending on, again, your level, you may still even be using Guardian Panther with defense down, with the costume, hitting all. But yes, being slow, pairing with anyone that's going to speed him up. I always say Hawthorn for purples because he's the most obvious one I've got that gives mana. But anyone who's going to help with mana generation is obviously good. Yeah, I'm a bit meh about this hero. I think they're also at the point where they've just created so many heroes for the game that it's just, they're all sort of, the artwork. I mean, how many different old wizards do we need to have in the game? Oh, this one's purple, another one's green, but, they're pretty much the same. Yeah, I think they've created that issue for themselves that there's not much fresh anymore. So then to make something fresh, they have to make a big, bold change. But yeah, I don't know if that helps you or not. Yeah, I'm starting to sort of suggest just not. I mean, there's always, with so many heroes coming out, sometimes I go to make pulls and I just think, you know what? There's going to be a better hero tomorrow. And I just keep telling myself that every day and trying to not pull each day because there's just always going to be a better hero. The longer you wait, the better the hero you're going to get, if that makes sense. So save your pennies, give them to me. Probably why I'm a bit random. I haven't had chocolate today. So yeah, if anyone's close by and wants to drop in some chocolate, feel free. It's freaking hot. Yeah. That's about all I've got to say. I was going to do a story mode with Vard, but it just didn't inspire me enough to, do a story. Hopefully that doesn't sound too bad. He's a good hero. Hit all, slow speed, but very big hit. But I just don't think he offers much that other heroes don't already offer. So in my humble opinion, I really wouldn't go chasing for the guy. I mean, it's a decent portal, quite low odds. event hero 0.5% and featured, but we do get the chance for double. So whenever you get one, you get a second one. So that's always nice. Quarry is quite strong. So he is also featured. Gives the growth. There's not as many heroes that take the growth off as yet, and you have a bit more control of that when you are on offense, especially to make sure you're not going against anyone that takes it away. So yeah, there we have it. If you're doing pools, best of luck to you. I hope you get whichever hero you're wanting. But yeah, save your money and give it to me. Give your kitty a scratch for me. Not sure where mine is. She's disappeared and has abandoned me. And as always, have a good one.